Welcome, everyone, to the 29th episode of the Boss Key Podcast. I am your co-host, McQuack306, joined as always by the staggering Jebby G. How you doing, man?
Hey, Big McQuack. I'm doing good. Yes, this is Jesse Fergoso, Jebby G. I am having a great Sunday morning as we're recording this. How about you, man? How's everything been going with you?
It's been going really, really well, man. A lot of gaming stuff, a lot of gaming in general, which is really good.
Bombshells dropped this week. Just saying, like, whoa.
Yeah, we have some negative news. We try to keep it positive here, but this is one of those that impacts a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
So we have good news. I mean, we only just have bad news for this, but we're gonna try to prepare everyone with
Yes.
good news in terms of how to use that to your advantage and how to get ready for that,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that it's not so shocking or comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But as usual, what are we playing? I've been playing the newly released Horizon Forbidden West.
Nice.
It is the best first party exclusive from PS5, um, or
There
from
you
PlayStation,
go.
because you can play it on PS4 and
Mm-hmm.
PS5. But I've been playing it on the PS5, and dude, it looks amazing. It looks so good. I'm playing under performance mode, which is a 60 frames.
Mm-hmm.
And the detail, the cutscenes, the character models, the world, everything's really good. I don't know if you've ever played the first one,
No, I have not yet.
but I highly suggest you do. It does have a small recap at the beginning when you play,
Okay.
and it
All right.
tells you pretty much, it fills you in with like this 3 minute story trailer. But
Mm-hmm.
man, I dino robots. I just like fighting robots. I mean, you know how we both love Turok. Um,
I was about to say that. I was just about to say this is the Turok in you coming out.
But this is just mech Turok. This is mech, dinosaur. Like, imagine just a robotic T Rex.
Oh.
It's just really cool. I really like the combat, the gameplay in terms of using arrows and different arrow tips, with
Mm-hmm.
acid or fire and stuff like that, depending on which mech you're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I've put about maybe 6 hours so far into the
Okay.
game, and it's really good. I feel like this will be a game of the year contender. It's that good.
Game of the Year contender started in February. Here we go.
But yeah, I'm enjoying my time there, and then on the off that I'm trying to take, not put so much time into it. I've also been getting ready for Destiny 2 Witch Queen.
Okay.
Playing
And that's the
through.
next expansion coming up?
Yeah, that comes out on the
Hmm.
22nd. That's Tuesday.
Okay.
Um, just doing the single player raids, or the mission strikes, and getting my characters stats leveled, and specific items ready for that initial DLC drop.
Here we go.
What have you
All
been playing,
right.
man?
So far, I've actually I just recently watched the Uncharted movie last Friday.
Okay.
Uh, and I'm coming from a different perspective here. I'm coming from someone who's never played the games, heard about the games a million times. I never owned a PS3, so I didn't get a chance to play them then. But then I got the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection on PS4, and Thief's End on the PS4 as well. Well, it was one of those PS Plus downloads that I was able to get, so I added to the library. Now I always have it. Man, PS Plus is still clutch for a lot of those games. So my PS4 is gonna stay with me this whole time because I have so many on PS Plus. But coming from a perspective again, from watching the movie first and then playing the games, uh, I can see why this movie was not a lot of people's cup of tea. Because again, it came in to me as a movie with the casting choices, and because again, I watched the movie first. Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, yes, bankable stars, and probably did like the best that they could for the roles. But then when I actually played the game, I was like, man, Mark Wahlberg is not the best Sully pick because now I know who Sully is in the game. I'm like, oh, And I'm like, "Oh, okay, like
Yeah.
you picked him, and then Tom Holland, he's a fantastic Spider-Man. I know you love him as Spider-Man. He's a great Spider-Man. He's so good. And I seen him in The Devil in Me, which is which was the Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Liked him there too. But oh my goodness, like he just looked like Nathan Drake just looks so different on the game, more slick talking, more like more slick talking and more like adventurous than what Tom Holland did like in the movie. Now, credit to the movie, they did say it's a prequel, so they can say, oh well, later on he becomes more adventurous and more maybe he changes later.
Yeah, and
But I'm
that's
like,
when we get Nathan Fillion to be Nathan Drake.
there you go.
I don't know if you've seen that YouTube short.
No, I haven't.
I highly suggest look up Uncharted Nathan Fillion, and there's like a 25 minute like fan made like little scene, and it's Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, and it has I
And
forgot the guy's name, but I always remember him as like the bad guy in Avatar, the
okay,
the alien
yeah,
Avatar, and he's
mhm.
Scully or
He's
Sully. I mean,
Sully.
I like Scully.
Sully.
He's Sully, and
Okay.
it just seems like why didn't they just pick these guys? Like these guys already knew what they were going for.
Uh, the Hollywood banking, man. They were just the bankable stars at the time. Now, again, credit to Holland. He tried watching. He said he played the games, did his research, and kudos. It's just hard to see him in different roles. Like it's like when you see The Rock in like movies. Like he might play like 7 different roles, but he looks
Yeah,
like the same
yeah,
guy in each of those roles.
like the Rock can pull off Black Adam, but if they told me, oh yeah, the Rock is starring as Spider Man, I'm like,
Whoa! You, you,
I don't know. I don't know
you,
about that one. Maybe Venom. Maybe
yo,
like
you read my mind. I was just gonna say that. I was like, Venom, yeah, I can see him as a Venom
it's
because
kind of
he
like one
can
of
pull off
those.
like that.
It's one of those like yeah, you could be a great actor, but I mean for that
Dang, that's
role, I mean
hard. His
you know
frame is impossible, and he's not gonna change frames or body weights like a lot of other actors do.
yeah
Like I'm gonna say one thing. Like if you've seen like the trailers for the Batman that's coming out, oh my god, Colin Farrell transformed into the Penguin.
yeah.
Like whoa. Like
Wait,
you're
is he
gonna
the
be.
Penguin?
He is the Penguin,
I
Colin
thought
Farrell.
I thought he was playing what's that dude's name? The mob boss.
Well, the mob boss, the
Uh
Penguin.
no what is it? Phony Fowney. What's
Oh, Falcone.
yeah? I thought he's playing him.
No, in the Batman, he is the Penguin, sir.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You know what? I'm just gonna double check on IMDb. Just gonna make sure. But I could have sworn. Let's see. Let me see. Colin, Colin Farrell, the Penguin. Pardon me if you hear typings, people, but let's see. Yes, Colin Farrell. Yes, he is going to be Oswald Cobblepot in
Oh
the
wow, I
movie.
thought he was playing someone
So,
else. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I seen his image and like
oh,
the cast didn't know.
dude.
The cast didn't even know that was him.
Mhm. Like no one knew until they said his name. Until they said, "Oh, that's Colin Farrell." It's like, what? The same guy from SWAT? Like the same guy that I remember from.
SWAT.
Yeah, hey, man, I see. You remember that movie? I know you
Yes,
laugh. You
with
know that
Samuel
movie.
Jackson,
Yes, man. Samuel
I think
Jackson
Michelle
and
Rodriguez.
yes, and LL Cool J.
Yeah, and
LL
then
Cool J.
what's the I always forget his name. Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner
There
as
you
the
go.
bad
Yeah,
guy.
I know. I
Great
remember
movie.
SWAT.
Great movie. You know it's a good movie. You know if it's on TV, you're gonna stay and watch it. You're not gonna just turn the channel right away.
It's
You're
just
gonna
funny
watch it.
that you picked SWAT out of all his movies. Like,
Hey, man. I'm sorry, but okay, you want me to be more specific? Okay, In Bruges. He was in Bruges. He was better in that movie, but hey, man,
that's
that's my
like
childhood right there.
thinking of John Travolta and like, oh, the dude from Battlestar Galactica. Of
Hey
all the
man,
movies.
hey man.
That's a good one,
I'm
though.
just
That's a
saying.
good one. I like
That's
that.
classic. So yep. So
I
yes.
would have gone with phone
So
booth, but yeah, nah.
there we go. Oh, I also did like him in that too. But I remember because I've seen that one a lot of times because it was on FX like a million times. So it was on FX 1,000 times. Um, so yeah, I mean, sorry to get off track with movies, but we were just thinking about that. Also, been playing quite a bit of Resident Evil 4 because we kept talking about it. So I keep switching between my PC and my PS4 version because I have the PS4 version and the PC version. I was trying to use the keyboard controls for PC, but for me, because a lot of games like Gears of War and stuff, they remastered for PC controls that fit really nice, like keyboard and mouse
Uh-huh.
with mouse aiming. But with Resident Evil 4, it was not as good. With Resident Evil 4, I still prefer controller better. So I just went with Resident Evil 4 controller wise. I just use the PS4 then if I'm using because they both do it at 60 FPS. I don't have it any faster. And then I was just playing a little bit of Duke Nukem Forever because it was $2.99, and I wanted to see what was. I wanted to because I hear a lot of infamous news about it. We've already talked about how it's the worst Duke Nukem game. It took too long to release, and when you wait for 12 years and something finally comes out and this is what you get, it's like, man, you've been baking this cake for a long time and you burnt it. You burnt it. Like you ruined it. You ruined this cake. I'm using it as cake. But you know what? I could see what they were trying to be really innovative. I could see they were trying to make everything interactable. Which hey, I commend it for that. They were trying to make everything around it as interactive as possible, and they were going bold, but it just kind of felt flat. So yeah, that's just what I've been playing so far. And movies I've watched. Maybe I'll just mention some video game movies that I watch. Every time I watch a video game movie, I will mention it every time.
Okay. Well, as we go into our next segment, it's the negative segment. We'd rather start off there.
Yes.
Nintendo just announced this week that they'll be cutting down the servers for Wii U and 3DS eShops. 3DS,
Ripping the cord.
that's the whole
Mm-hmm.
3DS library. If you have a 2DS, 3DS, 3DS XL, new 3DS XL, all of them.
Good luck.
And plus the Wii
Man,
U.
yep.
They're shutting
That
them down
is.
next by next year.
Yes. March 2023 is when everything will be shut down
Yeah,
from that.
so by March 2023, everything would be shut down in terms of accessing the store to buy the games.
Yes.
Nintendo has said that if you do already own them, like in your library, in your user library, you can still re-download your games for the foreseeable future. So you don't have to, get an external hard drive and just download and install them all there just to save
Mm-hmm.
keep them. Once they shut down, it's just that you just can't purchase anything new or download anything new.
Mm.
They do have some key dates though, in terms of
Yes.
while they're shutting them down. So like the
Mm-hmm.
first one is May 23rd of 2022. That means
Mm-hmm.
players can no longer add funds to their Nintendo account via a
May,
credit card.
yes, May 23rd, 2022. So you have until a couple months from now. You can use your credit card to
Yeah.
get more purchases.
Yeah, and then after that, that's just to add funds to those consoles. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
like if you have your 3DS, you can't after May 23rd, you can't add more money, more balance, funds, whatever onto that system with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But the next one, which would be August 29th, 2022,
Mm-hmm.
a couple months after that, um, it's gonna have after which players won't be able to add funds using a Nintendo eShop card on either system. So
Mm-hmm.
like those digital cards that you get like as a gift card or something like that with Mario, Luigi on them, you can't
Mm-hmm.
add those funds to those systems.
Mm.
And then the eventual, shutdown following with March 2023. So they're slowly gonna be making it more difficult for people to purchase stuff.
Yep.
That's more to protect their side on their end, so that let's say February 28th, you put $100 in the in your system, and then March 1st they shut it down, it's like you just lost all that money. Um,
Well, wait, didn't they say they're gonna try? You're gonna be able to still use it for Switch items,
uh,
or is it
no.
just lost? Like, period.
Oh yeah, you can still use it on the Switch, but let's say you don't have a Switch and you just had it for the Wii U or the 3DS, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but Jesse, what your thoughts on this?
Uh, I mean, hey, Nintendo, great. You're trying to. Here's their. Well, I literally just had it. I had their like a fun why they were doing it. Nintendo says shutting down the eShop for these systems is part of the natural life cycle of for any product line as it becomes less used by consumers over time. Um, okay, I mean, I don't have these statistics on how many people have been using Wii U's or 3DS's. I know the Switch is like the dominating market, but I just want to know, like, why do you not want money? I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's it's just something that why Nintendo to me has some of the best back catalogs of almost any system out there. Where it's whether it's NES, SNES, N64, GameCube has not been released yet on a lot of like the backwards eShops as of this time, but also a Game Boy Advance games, DS and 3DS games, and yeah, I guess it was naturally gonna happen, but like why can't they just keep it? Why do they have to shut it down where you can no longer buy it? It has to be something with like it costs to keep the servers up. I mean, maybe like it costs to keep the servers up for people to use to purchase. I don't know, but this just puts a stranglehold on so many games. And the thing is, they haven't released a comparable version on the Switch yet. That's the big disservice.
And
That's
not
the
only that, Jesse, sorry to cut you off. Not
yeah.
only that, but they don't plan to. They
Mhm.
also state that. They also state that at the end that they
No.
have no plans to bring classic or legacy titles on
Mm,
other platforms, which is a
no
huge
clue.
hit.
And you have no clue. Like, how do you know Game Boy Advance Online is going to happen? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to release that. I'm not a fortune teller. Like, I can't. We can't guarantee. I mean, we barely got like Nintendo 64 just recently, and like, are they going to release a Game Boy Advance Online? Are they going to release a Game Boy Online? Like, they have to. And then now, Nintendo just wants to add it on to um, they're gonna add it on to their services currently so they can charge a higher expansion pass or something. That's what I feel is gonna happen. They want to switch it to an online format. Why can't you just have these games? You already have the technology to put it on the Switch where people can get Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games. Um, a lot of these games, like Game Boy Advance games, good luck. Now, after this service is gone, if you have them, great. If you don't have them, well, guess what's going to increase in price soon?
Hmm.
Now the shops and everything are going to be a lot higher than before because guess what? Supply and demand is going to happen. And now that they know these servers are going to shut down, oh, that Game Boy Advance game is now going to be 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever it is. Like my man, dude, if you don't got Golden Sun already, those two games that you love a lot, and if you don't get the digital version at first, if they have it, sorry, I don't know if each and every single. I know probably not every single game on the Game Boy Advances on
The
sale.
Wii U does have
No,
the Golden Sun ones.
it does have the Golden Sun. So
Both.
yeah, example. Let's say you can't hunt down a physical copy. What if it's taken a while? What if you really do just want digital just to have it on the go? Nintendo should just keep it on there. That's just what I think. I mean, Xbox is the king of backwards compatibility right now. They want people to play their classic games.
Hmm.
They try to add more backwards compatibility every day, and they try to add more games you can buy for backwards compatibility as well. So I think Xbox is still reigning king on that. But like Nintendo, it's just Nintendo knows they're a powerhouse. They know their characters are very iconic. They know all the Samuses and Mario's and Kirby's. They know that they're good. They know that they are, and they can just do whatever they want. And Just rip it right out of the store if they want. That's what they do.
With Nintendo, I gave a lot of leeway, only because one, they're the oldest in the gaming
Mm.
from the three platform holders. So Sony and Xbox, they never had like a cartridge based home console. They started with CDs.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 1 CDs. They never had those
Mm-hmm.
cartridges. So it was always a little bit more difficult to translate or transfer that stuff, that those physical cards digitally. The Wii
Okay.
U was um like we've said before, Xbox has the best backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
By far. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you try to diminish it by saying, "Oh, well, you need the internet connection." Yeah, but if you have an Xbox One, most likely you have a internet connection.
You
Most
most
likely,
likely,
especially in
not 100%,
2022.
most likely. Yeah.
Especially in 2022, but you have that form where it's completely up to the consumer. You either buy it digitally if it's available on the Xbox marketplace, or you have a physical copy that is part of the program that you can play off of there, and
Right.
that goes from the original Xbox to 360 and Xbox One, right? All
Mm-hmm.
on the series console, and then they also work on the Xbox One, the
Mm-hmm.
models. But then you also have PS4 where they don't have backwards compatibility, or at least PS4 and PS5. They don't have backwards compatibility to anything before PS4. Um, and they do have some titles that were from PS2 that are
Mm-hmm.
playable by downloading only,
Right.
or even PS Now, I believe. But
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing for PS3 or PS1. But
Mm-hmm.
they do have the most games available. I think they have over 4,000 games available to choose
Mm-hmm.
from backwards compatibility, because PS4 was just so massive. And
Yeah,
then
there was a lot.
you had Nintendo Wii U that had,
Mhm.
let me check,
Yeah,
because I still have my
bring,
Wii U.
bring up your list, man. I know you got some.
They have playable on the Wii U. They have NES, Super NES, Game Boy
Mm-hmm.
Advance,
Mm-hmm.
N64,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo DS, Wii,
Mm-hmm.
plus
Mm-hmm.
the Wii U. If you include the Wii U, that's 7 consoles. That's 7 different platforms
In
that
one.
the others don't have. That
Nope.
Xbox has three max, right? PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
has two.
Mm-hmm.
With the Wii U,
Two as of this time. You have to
yeah,
have like an old school PS3 to have like PlayStation 1 through 3, but right. No, yeah, keep going.
and they had Wii U has 7 consoles, 7 different platforms to choose from,
Mm.
and it's just shocking that Nintendo doesn't plan on making more money by transferring this onto the Switch.
Eight.
It just doesn't make sense, and I know they're trying to do this whole we're gonna be expanding our services, our Nintendo Switch Online, and now we're adding Sega Genesis and N64, but we're also charging you $20 more a year for that. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, I'd rather buy them a la carte. I'd rather
Mm-hmm.
buy them, charge me $8, $10 for Ocarina of Time. Boom, buy it.
Damn, done.
You
Like,
know,
hey, I just want to play um Earthbound. Bam. Like that's it. Like just buy that game. But they're so into the. I know they just released Earthbound for the Nintendo SNES online service, but still, you want a lot of these games a la carte because they're not picking the bangers every time. They release like one banger and like like three other like random games that maybe like some people have not even heard of or anything. Like they're going through another method. But the a la carte method of selecting like whatever game that you want and just play it, but could also see why Nintendo wants to keep revenue going. They don't want you to just have one and just play it all day, all that you want.
just as an FYI, the NES games, and these are actually pretty
Business.
priced well.
Mm-hmm.
They're $5, and Earthbound Beginnings is on here. That one's the only one that I can see that's a little bit more. That one's $7. Then,
Mm-hmm.
if you move on to the Super Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
these were $8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, the first one that shows up, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars.
Yeah.
Guess who doesn't have it? I mean, trying to show you on my screen, but I still haven't bought this game. Like I told you, I probably have to buy it now. I have to
Buy it
buy
now.
it
Mm-mm.
so
Get
that
it.
I have access to it, or else who knows? I
Get
don't even know
getting a
how much
physical
it
of
is
that.
online. Yeah, I don't know
Ooh,
how much it
ooh.
is online, but Super Nintendo games $8. That's super cheap comparatively, and even easier because we use our you can hook them up to an HDMI TV as opposed to
Mhm.
finding a Super Nintendo then converting it to an HDMI
Mhm.
uh, you know port, but also going on to Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance are also priced the same way as Super Nintendo at eight
Mhm.
dollars each, and then it just continues on, and then even you can even download Wii games, um, but
Hey.
just it we don't understand it. It's we understand that they want to expand or get people onto the Nintendo Switch Online, but without having that option, it diminishes it. It doesn't. It's not the same impact as where the
Mhm.
Wii, the Wii U, and the 3DS were with Virtual Console. Um,
Let me throw in a little bit because actually after you asked that question, I actually found a website that tracks the prices of old school games. I'm all like, oh, this site is interesting. When you said Super Mario RPG was the first one, like they have loose listings, clean in box listing. Oh man, this is the first time I'm seeing this list. So yeah, Super Mario RPG. If you want to buy it loose, oh my god, you'd be
just
paying between $72, $110, $109, $144.99,
and that's Super Nintendo.
50.
That's
This is a Super So you need a Super Nintendo to even play this. You can't even you can't put it on anything else. Or you okay, technically you can buy one of those retro replay consoles like the ones that can play the multiple games, but my god, like you're going to have to hunt for these games now.
Donkey
And
Kong 64 is on here for $10. Who
oh, let me see how much that is.
who knows how
Let's see.
much? Well, Jesse will find out, but that's what we're going off is that Nintendo had a gold mine of classic games
Mhm.
on a console that unfortunately didn't sell well. So many stuff happened. Nintendo's
Mhm.
marketing, even the Wii
Okay.
U feels like a prototype to the Switch.
Mhm.
What the Switch would have been.
Oh, here you go. Okay, Donkey Kong 64 is not that bad. it's if you it's about $28 loose average, 28.77. So obviously Donkey Kong 64 was not as popular as a game, but oh, don't forget, all of these are just the game without the expansion pack. So you need an expansion pack to play this game. So you have to hunt that down. Um, and then they have like the clean in box ones where everything is in the box. 74.99. Oh man, I really like finding this website. Ooh, I just found something new while while recording the podcast. There you go. Yeah, so guess what's gonna happen when this shutdown happens? Woo!
Those
It's gonna be a
prices.
gold. It's gonna be a gold mine now to find. Oh, and if you thought Pokemon was hard to get before, just wait till the shutdown happens. And all these prices are gonna skyrocket. But Nintendo, please just give us the option to get these games online, man. Don't take away. Come on, you can make a couple $10, like 15, like whatever game, like uh but yeah.
Well,
That was just like the big news that struck us as far because it was Nintendo. So yeah, it struck more because it was like Nintendo. It's like the childhood friend just realized something and just told you like gut wrenching news. It's like, Nintendo, why? Et tu, Nintendo, et tu.
well, we wanted to let our viewers know about, or listeners know about this, and we kind of selected a couple things, games to look out for
Mhm.
before the shutdown and before it goes, hey, what, hey, all crazy and stuff like that with pricing.
Before the prices are going to start skyrocketing because the only way you're going to get it is physical now
So
after this goes down.
for Wii U, I highly recommend if you do have if you do have a Wii U and you're kind of worried about this, I would get an external hard drive, one that has its own power source, to just install these just in case, just for whatever reason. But also the games, I would look up look up the Virtual Console, and look up any games that you may think, hey, you know what, I kind of want to get this.
Mhm.
Even I'm just checking real quick on the Wii side. They have the best Resident Evil 4 version, which is the Wii version. They have Xenoblade Chronicles, Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. A lot of these on the Wii U are kind of hit or miss because there's already a port of them on the Switch.
Right.
So, like Skyward Sword, there's an
Hmm.
HD remastering of it on the Switch, which I think is a lot better.
Hmm.
Um, then you also have the Super Mario Galaxy game, which was on that Mario collection.
Yep.
If you got that one as well, so a lot of them, the main one though, on the Wii, I'd get the Metroid Prime trilogy. Who knows if
Nice.
we ever get it on the Switch, but at least you get it. That game's already like $100. So
Yep.
I would get that, and also the second game, or I guess just the sole game, would be Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Hmm.
That game is the only Xenoblade not on the Switch, and they've already stated before the devs have already stated that it's it'd be too much money, I guess, for them to port that game over to the Switch because the
Hmm.
game was just so massive.
Wow.
Even on the Wii U, I think it's about 20 GB. Which even if you have the
Whoa.
deluxe version, the deluxe Wii U only has like 29 GB of data, like storage. And not only that, but
Oh wow.
the game kind of will run slow on your
Hmm.
system. So load
Hmm.
times are like forever. And there's like
Oh.
5 DLC packs that are free that improve the load times. Uh,
Whoa.
so
They
it
released DLC to make the improve load time.
Yes, but they're huge. It takes up, I think, like 25 GB or something like that. It takes like
Wow.
20 GB in total, and it'll run like normal. It'll run like, okay, instead of waiting 2 minutes to load, it actually loads like 50 seconds or something like that.
Nice.
So I'd suggest Xenoblade Chronicles X if you have a
Mhm.
physical copy or look for a physical copy. Those are gonna go up in price. I see an average they go about $40 to $60 now.
Mm.
I think they're gonna be going. I think that's gonna be one that goes over 100, especially if there's no port on the Switch.
Ooh.
Um,
Yep.
and it's a great game for
Supply and demand.
JRPG fans. Jesse, I know you don't really have a Wii U, but I think we covered
Hmm.
it mostly with the virtual console games. Just basically whoever
Yeah.
has one, look up the virtual console games. I know you're a huge
Yeah.
fan of the Golden Sun series as well,
Mm.
and the Metroid games are on there as well. The Metroid GBA
Yep.
games.
Yep. Yep.
But what games on the 3DS do you recommend people look out for, whether physical or digital?
So, physical or digital. So again, before the shutdown, you're not going to be able to get a lot of. Excuse me. After the shutdown, you're not going to be able to get a lot of these games digital, which means over time, the physical prices of these games are going to go up, 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 depending on the popularity. Before this game increases in heck price, because Pokemon games are notorious for being raised in price like none other. But oh my goodness, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is such a good game. I love that Pokemon game. I was not a huge fan of Hoenn when it first came out, but I became a bigger fan when this remake came out. This was really, really good. Get whichever one. Digital, it will be cheaper as of this moment in time. I'm not sure. I haven't looked around at the physical versions yet, but I think physically wise, it will still be pretty affordable still. It hasn't reached heart gold, soul silver prices just yet. It hasn't reached those levels of prices at this time, but I would grab that. I would also grab, I had it, I had it in my thing. So hold on, little technical difficulties here. So, uh, beautiful Zelda game that I would definitely recommend: The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Grab that 3DS game. That is the um, if you've played A Link to the Past, you're gonna love this game, and it's very similar, but it's one of the best Zelda games out there. Would definitely throw that into the mix as well. I would also get The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the DSs. because those are great ports of both of those games, and both of those are Zelda legendary classics. And like how you said earlier, unfortunately, the 3DS only has up till the SNES for backwards compatibility. So if you have a 3DS, you can get up to SNES games for backwards compatible or with through the eShop. But as of this moment in time, if you have the Wii U owner, like you said, get whatever you can on any of the classic consoles. Get it now because, as Nintendo just said, you have the ability to re-download it in the future in case you delete it or something, but you won't be able to buy it. So if you didn't buy it now, you're stuck. You can't get it again. So get what you want until with credit card with credit card. Basically, try to get everything until May because who knows how everything goes. So you got a couple months to grab whatever you want that you wanted. Get it so you can just have it in your dang console already, so you don't have to worry about having to unpurchase it again or repurchase it. Just purchase it so you'll have it in your library. You're good to go.
Yeah. I second that the Legend of Zelda and Pokemon games,
Yep.
especially the old Game Boy ones. Get you know, I would just get both of them of each one. I'd get red, blue, yellow. If you the yellow for sure, and
Oh.
then I would get the gold, silver, and crystal games. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zelda games. Uh, you can play pretty much Zelda 1 through up to I think Majora's Mask
Mm-hmm.
that were released on just the 3DS.
Yep.
So you can get Legend of Zelda 1, 2, 3, or A Link to the Past. You can get
Mm-hmm.
a Link's Awakening, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can also get the Oracle of Ages and Seasons on
Yep.
the Game Boy on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, for those that don't have the Ambassador program, you can't get the Minish Cap. I have the
Ah.
Minish Cap because I have the 3DS Ambassador on
Mm-hmm.
mine. But yeah, you can get all the Zeldas. Basically, also all the JRPGs. Those are the ones that go up in price.
Mm-hmm.
So get the Dragon Quest 7 and 8 that were ported or they were kind of remastered onto the system.
Mm-hmm.
Bravely Default 1 and Bravely Second and
Mm-hmm.
layer. I'd get those as well. Any JRPGs, the more obscure, the more pricey they're gonna become.
Yep.
So
I agree with that. And
so
they haven't released many on the Xbox yet. So it's
yeah.
like not on it. Come on, guys.
But those are the games that we'd highly recommend. It just sucks.
Yes.
It's not the best case. I mean the only positive out of this negative is that Nintendo is actually giving us more than a year to purchase these. But
Oh, yay. Thank you for
yeah,
telling me.
that's only in comparison to the other big publisher, Sony, that tried to cut it off in 2 months. Like, oh hey, yeah, we're shutting these down in 2 months. Good luck.
By the way, just saying, good luck with you on that decision. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I'm hoping that enough people outcry and stop Nintendo from doing this. I mean, it happened with
On.
Sony, but who
Nintendo's just
knows?
giving us a nice beating, a nice little, nice little attack on that.
Yeah, who knows with
Uh,
Nintendo because they literally they don't listen to anybody else. They just march on their own way. Like, please stop Nintendo, and they just keep walking.
Nintendo, no! Like, stop doing this now.
It's like
And Nintendo's like, what? What? With the noses held high. What? I didn't hear you. I didn't. I don't know what's going on here. I think we'll just keep going.
yeah. So look up those eShops for the Wii U and the 3DS. See what you may want. See what you don't want to potentially look out
Mhm.
elsewhere. And
Agree.
and yeah, and moving forward to that, we're actually going to be going into our next topic, which is something new for us. We actually wanted to go back and look at previous years in gaming, and just
And
review them.
specifically, yeah. Now specifically.
And We went on Twitter. We did a post, a poll, and you guys voted for 1998 to be reviewed. So
11-year-old Jesse.
8-year-old Josh, 8-year-old McQuack.
11-year-old Jebby G. That name hasn't been coined yet. That name was coined in high school, but yes, 11-year-old. Man, a time before usernames. The time before gamer names were the big thing.
Yeah. So Jesse, start us off for this year. What are some of the games that you remember fondly, being 11 years old and loving?
Okay, so as far as games and loving for the year 1998. Now, the funny thing is, a lot of amazing games came out this year. This is during the big battle of N60, Nintendo 64, and the PlayStation. Most kids that I knew growing up had one or the other. No one had a Sega Saturn. Unfortunately, no one had one, no, unless it was a big collector. It wasn't the thing that was talked about. It was N64, PlayStation. I was on team N64 because that was the one I picked. I'm gonna date myself. My dad got me an N64 from Fedco. That store existed way back then. Like, that's how I got my N64. But 1998. So actually, after when I was making this list, when I was making the list of games, I was thinking like, man, this is going to be kind of like difficult, like on a specific year. But no, so many games were released in 1998 that I have played and beaten. And my number one example that I want to throw out here, uh, Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998. Resident Evil 2. It originally came out on the PlayStation. But it's coming right hot off the heels of Resident Evil 1, which was survival horror incarnate. But Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998. And well, we've talked about Resident Evil 2 before, but that year specifically, 1998 had a whole lot of games that were released that are like that have continued seeing success from beyond. Resident Evil 2, the top the top selling, not the top selling game of PlayStation period, I don't think, but it's one of the top Resident Evil games ever. That came out, and one of my favorite fighting games came out on PlayStation that year, and I played it next door at my neighbor's house. Tekken 3 came out in 1998. Tekken 3 was the most popular. It was the game that everyone wanted back then for PlayStation because it had so many extra modes and it had so many extra battles and hidden characters. It was superior to the arcade version, which you wouldn't think. Like, you would think arcade version's automatically better. No, the PlayStation Tekken 3 was amazing. When that game came out, I was playing Jin Kazama and martial law. Yeah. I was going, and then I always liked King because he had like the Jaguar head. But that is also a game that came out in 1998.
Never played Tekken.
Never played any of the Tekken games?
Never played a Tekken.
Oh man. Well, all right. You know what? Tekken 3 is so good. I will tell you, if you wanted to just play that one. Like, it's that good. Like, it was. I mean, right now, yes, it's gonna be local, not online. You're not gonna fight people online on Tekken 3 at all. But that is one of the best Tekken games that ever to be released. The most popular one too. It also had the maybe stop me if you haven't heard this, but like, it has the capoeira fighter, Eddie Gordo. That everyone used to pick him because his combos were so easy. All you had to do is press kicks a bunch of times, and he would do all these crazy dance moves, and he would piss people off because people with like some skill would try to fight him, but they can't. And then like a button mashing person could pick Eddie and just start kicking. He was introduced in that game, so that's something I remember from Tekken 3. Everyone just picked Eddie Gordo, just mashing with him. Dude, what game do you remember from 1999? That was good.
The game that I remember, I think, is probably one of the most influential games for me. That released in '98, has to have been Pokemon Red and Blue. It came out, I think, in 96 or 97 in Japan, but in 98 it came out in the United States.
Dun,
And
dun, dun, dun,
it was
dun.
one of those games that it just
Mhm.
okay. So I was in the, if you know Bell, I lived in
Yeah,
Bell, and we didn't.
yeah, that's close to Downey.
Yeah,
Right
close to,
there.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much right there. And
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about Pokemon. Pokemon didn't hit. It was like a separate country, the city of Bell. I knew nothing of
Oh.
Pokemon, and then
Mm.
I moved to Norwalk. I call it Norwalk, but I moved to Norwalk, and everybody's
Wow.
talking about Pokemon, Pokemon,
Yep.
Pokemon. I see Pokemon backpacks, Pokemon cards. I'm like,
Mhm.
what is a Pikachu? What is that? And
Whoa. Remember, everybody, 1998, 1998. He wasn't huge yet.
yeah, and I got sucked in, man. I fell in love with Pokemon and all the different designs. And when I saw Haunter, I was like, "That's my dude. That's the Pokemon I want." And
There you go.
it just was pretty crazy. And what's funny is that I traded with one of my best friends, Ramon. He wanted. I had a copy of a Link's Awakening,
Mhm.
a Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, and he wanted it. And I told him I'll trade you, and we traded, and I got that's how I got Pokemon Red, and
Ooh,
it just
that's a good game for a good game, man. Both of those are
yeah,
great. So
those were
no,
both great. And but I had already
mm,
finished A Link's Awakening, so I was like, yeah, I'm done with this one. And
that's a
man,
good trade.
I loved Pokemon Red instantly. Like it was just so new, so fresh. It was like,
Mhm.
what's this monster? What's that monster? And then like you don't know that they evolve like into what they are. So at the time, everything's new. Everybody's on the same playing ground. Nobody knows
Yep.
what it was. But just as exciting, I know it's like the following year, but just as exciting with that, it was when they were showcasing, or when somebody would bring like a magazine, and it showed
Ooh.
Suicune. But at the time, everyone's like, "Oh, that's Lapras. That's Lapras's evolution because of the colors and stuff like that."
Yep.
And Peekaboo, which was Meryl, and
Meryl. Not a not a blue Pikachu.
no, and then the whole how to get Mew is to like use strength on the truck to push the truck, and Mew
Yep.
is underneath the truck. It was just so great. It was a time of everybody didn't know, like no one knew about Pokemon. Like how do you
Mhm.
get this, and how do you get Gengar, and how do you get this person? It was just so crazy at the time, for 1998, and for 8-year-old McQuack. Uh,
Hey. The sounds are already coming back to me. Dun, 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 dun. Like you got involved. You know what was the funniest thing too that I thought was interesting because a lot of people again were just playing this game but they didn't realize it. Um, I remember some people were trading Pokemon, but then when they traded it evolved, they're like, "What the
Yeah.
hell? I got it! What is this?" Like, dude, you gave me. I just wanted a Kadabra, and you gave me. What is this evolving? And then
Me, I
people,
was
and
like
then
Haunter.
like it's not Haunter no more. It's the Gengar. And then the other person would be like, "Hey man, give it back! I want the evolved form." I was like, "Nope, you traded it. Sorry, you're done." I got to do it all over again. Man, that's oh man, to be young and not know about that Pokemon stuff back then. When it first implodes on you, when it first comes at you, it's so good. It's oh my goodness, bringing back the good times. I know you see me. I know you see me, McQuack, but everyone, I'm just having a big smile remembering all these Pokemon memories. Guess what other game came out in 1998? That's another hit. Oh, it started the game of many wars in the future. Mario Party came out in '98.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, Mario
Not
Party. It
yet.
sounded many wars in the future. Mario Party,
Not
yes,
yet.
Mario Party.
I said
I didn't know it came
many
out in
wars with
'98.
I think many wars with your friends and stuff, like battling for stars. Like you guys have Mario Party nights. Like, dude, it started in '98.
Yeah,
That's where it began.
that's a solid pick because I play Mario Party now every week, and I never thought I would. I never thought I would be
Mhm.
playing Mario Party still, but it's
I got that as
crazy.
a
It's
I got
crazy.
that as a birthday. I got that as a birthday gift. I begged my dad to get it because it looked cool. But when I saw it, and I played it with people and by yourself, and you just get hooked. Like they nailed board game mechanics with Mario Party. It was legit.
Yeah, like Mario Kart was like kind of crazy because it was skill based and trying to memorize the tracks and stuff like that. But Mario Party was just random.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes you could win a mini game even though and then like the same mini game you can think like, oh yeah, I got this in the bag and somebody beats you. Or I need a seven, I need to roll a seven and you get six. And you're like and then the next person outpaces you and gets the star and you're like
And then also, oh, because you throw in the luck factor. And
yes.
the thing with throwing in the luck factor, it gives everyone a chance. It
Mhm.
gives everyone like a shot to win. So um I know I just read into it because I read in this thing about fighting games and how they sometimes try to add luck into it, but then that kind of defeats the purpose for this really skilled players because now the skilled players have a chance to lose.
Yeah.
But luck is thrown in there because um, luck is thrown in there because it needs like a reason so people won't feel so bad when they lose or something. It's like, oh, it's just luck. Like, gosh, like
Yeah.
how did you win? How did you beat me at that? And Mario Party had that, and so many of the mini games, like the bumper balls, and was like bumper balls, and I'm trying to remember the bobsled with the
Oh
penguin, like you're
yeah.
just two on twos, and the look that you give somebody when they land at a boo and they're like you're like and you look how many coins they have, they have 50, you're like bro, no
I
no no
I
no
did
no
this
no no
crazy
no
move with my sister in law
no
where
no no no.
it was one of the first times we were playing, and they were still grasping
Mhm.
the Mario Party concept. I think this was our second game, and she was still contemplating, like they were still like trying to get into like okay Mario Party and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna show them why Mario Party destroys friendships.
Lives.
And
Friendships and
her
lives.
boyfriend was playing. I think he had like 3 stars, and she had 2 stars, right?
Mhm.
And I had 3 stars, and so I was able to steal a star. And so
Oh.
everybody's like, oh, he's gonna steal it from him. He's gonna steal it
Mhm.
from him because that means he's gonna be he's
Mhm.
gonna have 2 stars, and he's
Mhm.
now gonna have 4.
Mhm.
And I chose her, and she was just speechless. She just did not know how to process the
Devastated.
the move, and she was just like, "Oh no, actually, I only had 1 star or something like that," and
Mhm.
she was just devastated. She was like, "Well." Like she was just speechless. Like, why would you pick? Like, he's the obvious choice. Why'd you? And I was just like, it's Mario Party. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's just random,
It's
and
just how it goes.
we we
It's just how
we have
it
more like crazy moments like that. I posted it too for Friday, the crazy like switch, like, and especially what you're talking about, that luck factor, where one player had 3 stars and another
Mhm.
player had 0 stars, and
Mhm.
they hit that chance. Uh, um,
The
y-
chance cube, the chance space.
yeah, and it basically swapped stars, and so now the player four or fourth place became second place,
Oh,
like
my
that.
heart, my heart already feels for the. I saw the Switch All Stars logo, or when it's like just give a star to them or give all stars to them. Like, oh, my
Yeah,
heart.
so
Like, dude, that's
it's
worse.
yeah, Mario Party is a good pick. That's
Oh,
I'm happy that they still make them because I
right?
some of them they were hit and miss. I know the Wii U was a really huge miss, but
Hmm.
the the most recent one is a good one. But yeah, Mario Party 1998 starting to break friendships. That was,
Yep.
and then with the controller too. That the joystick and moving around the yeah.
My poor palms, man. They got demolished with any rotating game. Oh, Tug of War was the
Tug
worst.
of War.
Tug of War was the worst. And The one that hurt my fingers the most are the ones you have to press repeatedly, the buttons like A or B. You have to press them repeatedly. So I would have my controller on the floor on the table, like destroying my hand just to do it, man. Oh, Mario Party. Number 2 is still considered to be one of the greatest ones of the
Yeah.
Mario parties. A couple of the GameCube ones were considered to be good, but Mario Party 2, quote unquote, is the best one. But Mario Party 1, 98, where it all began. Did you kind of jump into that other game you wanted to talk about? Because yes, you were correct on Metal Gear Solid. You said that began in
The Future
1998.
Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
That did start 1998.
Uh,
PlayStation was on one.
Metal Gear Solid 1. I've already said so much about this that you guys already know. Instant classic, instant legendary game.
Play that game.
The only thing I
Just
wish
straight
is that it was available elsewhere on multiple platforms. It's currently available on GOG for PC. You can buy it there. If you still have a PS3, you can
Yep.
play it there. But
And it has to be the old school PS3, the one that can play different games, because they released another PS3 that doesn't have the backwards compatibility.
that one plays it.
So oh, it does play it? Oh,
Yeah,
never mind. Just kidding.
I have a Slim, and that one still plays PS1 games. It just doesn't play PS2 games. But
well, that's weird. All
yeah.
You don't like twos? Oh, this game doesn't like this console doesn't like even numbers. I see that.
Remember, you could also download the game. That's why you can also download the game.
Yep.
And it's playable on PSP, PS Vita, and PS3. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, legendary game. I've said so much about this one. But one that I haven't really talked about, kind of maybe, is Final Fantasy Tactics. That's one of my favorite JRPGs, but it's more like it's turn based, but it's more like grid based. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's kind of like XCOM in a way, where you move your players like Fire Emblem type of stuff.
I just bought that game on sale. Actually, I bought XCOM 2. Oh. I also bought it on sale for my PC, so I never played an XCOM game before.
I heard they're difficult.
Interesting. They just even though you just said that right now, just a coincidence. Sorry, but it was a coincidence that I bought XCOM 2 as part of the sale. So nice. Okay.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics. Probably one of the best Final Fantasy games out there, and it's not even a traditional Final Fantasy game. But it had like over 20 jobs for the game, where you can be like a black mage, white mage. It had a mime, time mage, all these different job classes. Of course, the Black Knight is my favorite, and also you can get other characters like Cloud. Cloud was in the game
nice.
From Final Fantasy VII, but really great story, really amazing story. You feel for the characters, and I love it. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. I think I'd probably put it up there with like top 3 actually on Final Fantasy.
There we go.
So Tactics, one of the best games from 1998.
Ooh, okay. I'm actually gonna throw in another strategy type or tactic type game out there. It came out in 1998, but I didn't play it until later because I got my first super better PC in 2000s and above. But this game came out in 1998. StarCraft and StarCraft the expansion Brood War came out in 1998. Now StarCraft it revolutionized the heck out of the real-time strategy game, because Warcraft came out before, but even right now, like StarCraft, you absolutely can play that, selecting the units. I know some other people maybe have played, I'm not sure if the Command and Conquer series or anything like that came out yet, but I still feel that StarCraft is one of the best strategy games out there. StarCraft 2, it hit big, but not as big as the appeal as the first StarCraft. Like this was like custom maps. It was the most balanced. It was the most awesome strategy game that I used to play with the friends a lot. We used to play that game a lot. later on with a lot of my high school friends. But StarCraft came out in 1998, revolutionizing real time strategy. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six started in 1998 as well. So everyone playing right now Siege and all the games for the future, but Tom Clancy started there. I actually had a really hard time with that game. I remember I did not like it too well because I played the N64 version because there was an N64 version of it. But another one that I want to a more obscure game that came out that was another great platformer, Gex Enter the Gecko. Have you ever played any of the Gex games?
Never.
You've heard of you've heard of the character, right?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, so at first, the first Gex was just like a 2D like platformer type deal. It came out like on the 3DO, like a more obscure console, like a not a successful one. But Gex Enter the Gecko was a nice, like refreshing take on like if you've played any other platformer, like Super Mario 64 or Banjo Kazooie, anything like that. It was great because I remember going around the different lands and all the worlds are shaped like TV stations and TV worlds, like Cartoon World, Horror World, and you can bounce on his tail like a pogo stick. And I remember whipping people with the tail, and he always had all these one-liners and all these quips that in today's time, if you play it, it's dated, it's now aged. Like it's really
the
obscure.
90s.
Yeah, like it was all the 90s on the rage at that time. All obscure references now. But that is another game that I remember from 1998 that came out. Another one that I rented from Blockbuster. Never owned it. Always rented a lot from Blockbuster. A lot of these games.
I think we all
rent
did.
it. Yeah, a lot of these games are rentals that I'm mentioning here. And also, I'm just going to throw in, because I've talked about this game a lot before, so I'm not going to jump into it like a full-blown discussion on it, but Banjo Kazooie came out in 98. And you've already heard from me, the top premiere of platformers. Like, it came out in that year. And again, like I've said before, I've beaten that game, collected everything so many times. It'll make your head spin, like a lot. Like,
real quick.
It was on my console.
Which one's better? Banjo Kazooie or Banjo Tooie?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't beaten too much of Banjo Tooie. I got through to near the final battle in Banjo Tooie. You're still gonna have to go with Banjo Kazooie. Because I have a more heartstrings with that. Did you like Banjo Tooie better?
Told you I never played them.
Oh, that's right. You never played them. My bad. So, I would say Banjo Kazooie is the better game of the two, because I think Banjo Tooie was a heck of a lot harder than Banjo Kazooie, like a lot harder. So if you're looking for the more challenging one, then you gotta play. You'll play Banjo Tooie. But if you only had to play one of the two, play Banjo Kazooie. That's the gold star. That's the top the top one of the two if you wanted to play. Don't play Nuts and Bolts. That's not that one. But the good thing about the Rare Replay is it has both games, so you can absolutely enjoy both games if you want. So no, yeah, it has both. But Banjo Kazooie is the one that revolutionized the platformer. It also put them on the map, and I think a lot of people got excited for when he was announced in Smash because of Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would play Banjo Kazooie better than Tooie.
Okay. I mean, there's so many other games that came out that year. Just as like a quick glance of '98, Yoshi's Story came out in that year, as well as what was it? Tomb Raider 3, Castlevania for the N64.
Dude, I actually like that game. I like the soundtrack a lot. I know it's not good. I know it's not good legend wise. Like I know it's not good as like Castlevania's first jump into 3D was a bit of a stumble, but
yeah,
you know what? I liked it. I liked it when I rented it. This is again from the soundtrack. NFL Blitz came out in 1998.
Oh, I love that one.
the best football game ever. Like that is the best football game. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 was released in the arcades of that year.
Oh damn.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. We talked about that game a lot, but Turok. I think we posted up even when it's on sale. Turok. Play Turok. The best Crash Bandicoot Warped, came out in 1998. That's 3. That's the best one, I feel.
We also have Parasite Eve. Came out on PlayStation for those. It was like a horror type game almost.
Is that a JRPG as well?
Yeah.
Nice. Half-Life, the shooter of shooters, came out in 98. That's the basis of a lot of games. Unreal came out, which revolutionized gaming for the future, because now, if you haven't heard from a lot of games, they use the Unreal Engine. Which
it's like one of the most popular engines.
Yeah, it's one of the most popular engines ever. And I'm gonna throw a little tiny tidbit. Snake, not Metal Gear Solid, but the Snake that you play, the Snake that you played on your cell phones back in the day. If you're like me and McQuack, who had the older cell phones back in the days, those Nokia bricks and those Sony Ericsson bricks,
antennas that would come out.
Yep. The original Snake game first came out in 1998 for the Nokia 6110 phone in 98. So again, 98.
Damn.
So many great. Link's Awakening DX came out. Not Link's Awakening, the DX version, the color one.
The re-release.
The re-release, which a lot of people liked better. Sonic Adventure came out in Japan in 98, because we didn't get a Dreamcast until 99. But Sonic Adventure came out for Sonic's real super true test in the 3D world. But yeah, 98 was huge. That's a long... Yeah. And I have more, but man, that's a long list. I have a lot of games. But 98, 11-year-old Jesse was having fun with a lot of these games. I know I said some I played later on, but there was a lot of these that I played that same year that they came out.
Yeah. The last one I wanted to mention, which I think is the best game of that year, and probably top 5 of best games ever made, was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I think that's always going to be mentioned for 98 as the pinnacle for that year.
I picked Turok 2 instead when I was looking to buy it.
No.
I don't know why. My friend Jonathan bought The Legend of Zelda. Everyone's playing it. I picked Turok 2. Don't know why again, but I corrected that in the future. But
Turok fan, man. That's how
true.
We are.
But I did play it in 98. And yes, I did beat it, because again, that's a game I rented multiple times at Blockbuster because I just wanted to beat it. So yeah, we re-rented that one.
But yeah,
98.
it was a solid year for gaming.
Good pick, everybody. That's a really good pick for games coming out in 1990.
All right, and that's our last segment, as you know it. Jesse, what do you got for our boss pick of the week?
Ooh. Alrighty. So I am keeping up with the 1998 Fanfare Fest, just like how we wanted to keep it within there. I mean, sometimes we go off, but I wanted to keep it in there. So the boss pick of the week that I actually have is, again, from my favorite platformer of all time, Banjo Kazooie's. I am picking the witchiest witch, the most powerful person in that game, Gruntilda. She is, to me, a platformer's final boss of bosses. Like, she is, her laugh will just get you going through the entire game. And she's going to be taunting you throughout the entire game. She always speaks in rhymes, which is so awesome. And you know how Banjo Kazooie, they always do the... no, I'm sorry, you haven't played it, but...
I've heard it.
They do the talking. And then when you hear her talking, it's like... like, every single time, and I don't know why. It's just so, it's awesome just to hear her speak. And she has such an amazing presence. She's so funny, and she's so like, and the way the mission in the first Banjo Kazooie game is because Well, no, this is a way older game. This is not spoiler alert territory. You could YouTube this if you want or whatever. Just play Banjo Kazooie. But the mission in Banjo Kazooie from Gruntilda, she actually kidnaps Banjo's little sister, and she wants to use a beauty absorbing machine to absorb the beauty, from her.
Okay, Vulture.
Well, I'm just saying, like, right? That's like savage.
That's straight up Vulture from Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm just saying she wants to absorb the beauty from the little sister, but they specify just the beauty part, not like the age part.
Okay.
And the thing that I love about Banjo Kazooie 2 is if you get like game overs, you actually get like it's one of those games where you get a game over screen, like what happens if you fail, and then you see the machine actually in action, and then you see Gruntilda transform. I was like, whoa. Hello, Gruntilda. How you do? Like she literally like transforms. Like, oh, okay. She transforms into like she gets the youthful power. But throughout the entire game, you're in her lair when you're battling her. Excuse me, you're in her lair when you're going through the levels. You're in her house, so you have to invade her house and her castle. Best hub world ever in a video game. Best hub world. Like all the levels are in there. Like you're adventuring in an adventure through it. It's not like a small little hub world. It's a huge hub world going through different caverns and different how the different levels look out, and different parts of her castle start looking like the levels. It's so good. Like it was one of the best hub worlds ever. Like I know some people are not fans of hub worlds, but this like dude, like Peach's castle, and then here comes Gruntilda's lair. Like done. Like dude, 10 times, 50,000 times better. So she's heckling you throughout the entire game. You're hearing her rhymes, you're hearing her riddles, you're hearing her laugh, you're hearing her send her minions. And then you get to the final battle, which is at the very roof of her lair. You're at the very top of her hat, because if you see, Spiral Mountain has her face over the mountain. The mountain's shaped like her face, and then you're fighting on the top of the hat. It is a battle that you have to use all your wits from everything that you learned. And this witch is powerful. There is a reason why everyone is afraid of her. It's like in several phases. There's a phases where she's flying at you. There's phases where she's shooting her fireballs. And then she shoots a homing blast that you have to use the shield. Otherwise, you're going to get hit. Some people would really try to avoid it, but you're supposed to use the shield to block it. And then as you're battling her, then you get a flight pad to fight her in the air as well. And then after you fight her in the air, she loses her broom. So now she's standing on a podium, but then she makes a shield. And then now you have to use the creatures that you saved throughout the game. So they include the creatures that you saved throughout the game. The Jinjos, they're called Jinjos. So you include the characters that you saved from the game, you unlock them, and then they shoot at her like a machine gun. Not like a machine gun, like a rocket, like just to finally get her again, and she's still not dying. Like she's still here. And then the final one that you have to unlock is the big gigantic Jinjo. They call it the Jinjonator. Like it's the big one. Like when you unlock this Jinjo, it's like Jinjo. Like it's the big one. And then finally after that one, Gruntilda goes like, oh, like now the big one's here. And the Jinjonator, the biggest one, still has to hit her like 3 times to knock her off the pedestal to finish the battle. And whoa. I mean, if you didn't get it from me talking about this, then my God, I still remember. I'm sweating just talking about it. It's hot in my room, but I'm sweating just talking about it. Oh my gosh. Gruntilda is the bomb. Hot take. I like Gruntilda better than Bowser. I know that I said Bowser is like a top tier boss. Yep, I do. She is a way better villain than Bowser. Overall, hot take. If you want to talk about it. But I'll tell you reasons why she is. But dude, and in the future games, she does get. There's different things that happens in the future games, but I'm just focusing on the first game today. So for having such a memorable boss battle, for being a constant presence throughout the game, heckling you throughout, being funny, rhyming, having a recognizable voice, even though she's speaking in doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You will recognize her throughout the whole game. She doesn't speak a lick of English. They don't do that in Banjo Kazooie, but she speaks all that. And this is also the reason why you want to collect everything in the game. Because when you collect everything in the game, you max out everything, you max out your health, you get the second life bar, you become the most powerful version of yourself if you make it to the end. Because right before the final battle, there is a bunch of note doors, because that's the collectible you get. There's a lot of note doors that only unlock if you collected that many notes. If you collected all 900, then you get all the spoils, you get all the rewards. But if you didn't, but if you really want to, now you have to go back and collect again, which you could if you want. You can go back and collect everything again, make sure you get everything. But so much replayability, or you could just play Gruntilda, just play against her just straight up if you want. But you could be maxed out if you wanted to too. But my goodness, this boss, I think this is probably like the biggest I've talked about a boss, maybe besides like the Icon of Sin or something like that. But Gruntilda, that was, hey, she's something. I'm like seeing her again on my other screen, and like, my goodness, all the memories just like came back. She was awesome. And that is my boss pick of the week.
Well, that was a good one, man. She sounds like pretty crazy, pretty chaotic in the fight.
I could have saved that one for Halloween and stuff, but I wanted to stay within 98, within our year. And yeah, dude, that's great. That's the boss battle of the ages right there. That's a good one. That's a childhood one that stays with you.
Well, that's our show, you guys. Thank you for joining us, making it this far. We're probably gonna be doing multiple or different, I guess, years as we move forward. We kind of like doing this one, just looking back at the specific years and the games that impacted us the most from those years. Let us know in the comment section or tweet at us what games that released in 1998 that you guys loved, or it didn't even have to be that same year that you played it. It could have been, even last year, but it came out in 98 that you just started playing, because that happens a lot of the times. That I haven't played Banjo Kazooie, but who knows if I just start playing from the Nintendo Switch Online, since it's now available, or even on Xbox since it's on the
Rare Replay.
Yep. But,
dude, play it just play it either way. Doesn't matter. I don't care how you play it. Just play it. It's good. And might not be super long right now. Well, it will take a while, but not super long. But it's a great platformer before Jack and Daxter's and a couple other ones came out, Ratchet and Clank. So it was before that time. So like what Mario 64 started with 3D platformers, Banjo Kazooie like near perfected it.
Damn. Well, I don't like Mario, but I'll probably be taking Banjo a shot later on.
Play Banjo. Since you don't like Mario, use Banjo. Banjo's better than Mario. There you go. I know you like that. I know. Y'all, dude. You're gonna hear.
For someone who's never played it, but I know how they sound.
Yep. And then you're just gonna hear Banjo. Oh. And then like Kazooie, like and then you hear Bottles the Mole, like, and then like it's oh man, I can go through all these these voices from back then, and like we couldn't put English voices yet, like, but they did. Come on, man, Resident Evil 2 had voices in it.
Yeah, but that was a miracle port. That's still regarded as like, how did they do it?
Right? They sold their soul to the devil or something, man, because that was the most beautiful port ever. Besides a crunched video, it was like wow, so good. But yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, thank you again, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace out, everybody. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, whatever time. Love you guys.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Boss Key Podcast with your hosts, McQuack306 and
Debbie G. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at BossKey_podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you like, you can also follow us personally at McQuack306 and Jesse_Fregoso.
Join us next time for another episode of the Boss Key Podcast.